Welcome to Over It and On With It. I'm your host, Christine Hassler, and for over a decade, I've been a life coach, speaker, and author. Each week, you'll hear me work directly with a caller as I coach them through a goal they want to accomplish or an obstacle they may be facing. I'll provide a blend of practical and spiritual advice, as well as tangible actions you can apply to your own life. Now, let's get on with the episode. Well, hello, everybody. So glad to have you joining me again. I'm recording this podcast from my hotel room in Atlanta, where I'm watching the rain come down, and it's so nice and relaxing. And I wish I could bring some of this rain back with me to California, because boy, do we need it. But I'm here in Atlanta because I just finished keynoting a big conference, and I love speaking. I love being up on stage and connecting with people. It's so fun. And one of the things that I am privileged to do that I loved. And if you had told me 10 years ago that I'd be a keynote speaker and traveling around the world doing the things that I do, I would have been so excited because, it was always kind of a dream to do something like this. And that's the thing about dreams is on some level, it's already done. Like the reason why we have dreams and feel dreams is because we know it's coming. So what am I talking about? Well, this call with Mike today is about stepping into his purpose and fulfilling his dream of being able to be an entrepreneur, basically. So we're going to talk to him about pursuing that dream. And I'm sure the topic of pursuing dreams and purpose and passion is something we'll cover a lot in this show. So what's so cool about dreams and anything we long for, and I'm talking about those dreams that you feel in your heart. Those are different from the kind of dreams we hope will make us feel better about ourselves or fill some void. Those are more ego-based desires than true longings and dreams. So listening inside to hear what our heartfelt dreams are actually part of our psychic ability. And we're all a little psychic, or you could say intuitive. Here's the deal. You wouldn't feel it and long for it so badly if you didn't know it was coming. That's what's so cool about our heartfelt dreams, is that it's kind of like a premonition. On some level, it's already done. We just can't always control the exact timing of it. That's what's not so cool. It's because we feel it and we want it, but it may take a week, it may take 10 years. It takes time for dreams to evolve. For example, you may have a dream of really helping others and making a difference. And your mind may put the form of, I need to be a professional speaker in a year on it, because that's what the mind does. It likes to put form and timing on something. But there are so many other ways our dreams can unfold. But trust your dreams are coming true. It's already done on some level. I know an area many of you dream about has to do with finding your purpose and serving others. You may also long for more freedom. Freedom not only to do something you love, but also to have the money and time to spend with the people you love. This is the dream of today's caller, Mike. He's calling and asking for advice on how to start his new product-based business because he keeps starting a lot of things but never following through. But the call took a different turn, as they often do, when I help Mike realize what his dream may truly be. So as you're listening to this call, consider these questions. What heartfelt dreams are calling you forward? Do you have a sense of what you want to do, but you're just not stepping up and taking action? Do you start many things, many projects, but don't seem to follow through or get them to completion? Are you waiting for some kind of answer or sign from the universe to make a decision and take action? Keep these questions in mind as you listen to this call. And notice that I ask Mike a lot of questions before I give him any advice. Becoming a great listener and question asker is key to leading someone to an aha, and most importantly, just making them feel heard. That applies to yourself too. One of the things that I encourage so many of my clients to do is to coach themselves, to ask themselves questions and really give themselves time to answer, and even do it out loud so you can actually hear the great advice that you have for yourself inside. So now on to the coaching session with Mike. Well, hello, Mike. Welcome to the show. What's your question?
Hey, good evening. Well, I've got a simple question, but with a complex challenge. I have these dreams, and I know everybody has big goals and dreams, and I've been working on some that have come to pass and others that I've been challenged with, and I've always had this dream of having a successful home-based business with a particular interest in network marketing, and also in particular with nutrition. And I've been doing it for years and years and years now. When my daughter was born and some other things happened, I got out of the business side of it and just focused on buying products and raising a family and everything. But now my daughter's graduated from college, and I'm ready to make that dream happen again. And my challenge is there's so many wonderful things out there, and I'm what people in the industry not so affectionately refer to as a product junkie. I've tried them all, and I'm always looking for the next big thing and something that will impact the most lives. And every time I think I've landed on something and I've got the perfect solution, I'll either get redirected or I get disappointed, and I'm still basically repeating the same cycle over and over again. I think that pretty much sums it up. That's the challenge, and I'd like to break that cycle and just focus on something and put my blinders on and go for it. But there's that seeming lack of confidence in my decision making, I guess.
And
I hope that makes sense.
Well, yeah, it's starting to. I'm just going to ask a couple more questions. In your life, what have you been most successful at? Like, what's something you really committed to and focused on and were successful at?
Well, I'm a good starter. I'm a motivator. I do some speaking, and I'm a pastor, but I also, done just regular speaking as well. I'm a motivator, and a promoter. I'm in marketing. I work for a major Fortune 500 company in their marketing division, and that's what I do for a living. And I'm good at inspiring and planting seeds and encouraging and increasing people's vision of what they can be. So I guess that's probably like the strong part of my personality.
Okay, so if you let's say you're a motivational speaker and you're speaking to a group, and there's a man in the group that raises his hand and asks you this question of, how do I really stick to something? I've got these dreams, but I'm doubting myself and I don't know how to stick to it. What would you say to him?
Well, that's an excellent way to turn it around. Well, I guess the thing I would want to find out is what is it that they're looking for? What inspires you about something? What do you see in this particular opportunity that inspires you in the first place? What's drawing you, or what would draw you to embrace something? What would you have to find?
Okay, so answer that.
Okay. Well, I would like to find something that I felt like the average person could embrace, that they could understand, but it was something that was special and not something that, not something redundant, not a Me Too product, but something that could make a real, genuine impact on someone's life. And I'm not looking for hype. I'm not looking for just something that's a money-making machine. I genuinely have a passion in my heart to change other people's lives, to see people help, especially in a world where so many people I care about have had to deal with things like cancer and diabetes and arthritis and other debilitating or life-threatening problems that my heart tells me there are answers for. So
let me
that's
ask,
what I want.
Great insight. So why are you looking for a product?
Well, I want to have something to share. I think a business needs a product, and I want it to be something that I'm proud of and confident in.
Well, how about if you're the product?
Well, I'm. I guess that it is. At least that makes sense. That certainly, at least at some level, I would be the product that I'm selling myself. That brand Mike would be involved.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps that's the reason you haven't found the product. Perhaps that's the reason you have been kind of throwing different things around. Perhaps you're not really seeing here that what you really want to do is share and teach and inspire people with information, because I think education is the best product we can quote unquote sell. More so than any supplement or any workout gear or anything. It's really education. And I'm sure you have a lot of access to people, especially being a pastor, who don't have a lot of education in terms of how to have a healthier relationship with themselves and how to make food choices and lifestyle choices or whatever it is. I don't know what your particular area of expertise is, but I would really look at that. I think you're really close to a lot of information and have access to a lot of people that perhaps you're not seeing, and you're stalling yourself with thinking you need a product when perhaps the product is you.
Wow. Well, that definitely gives me food for thought. I'm not 100% sure how that translates to my objective, but it makes perfect sense.
Well, your objective is to have, and so there were two things I heard. Sort of the more emotional soul line objective is to help and inspire people, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And the goal line objective is to make money working from home, so perhaps you can leave your job at the other company?
Yes, absolutely, to free our family up to travel and to also build the bigger dream without a feeling imposed on us by the corporate world.
Awesome. And can you give me an idea, you don't have to say the company, but an idea of the field that you market in?
Well, primarily in my job or what I'm looking for?
In your job.
Yes, insurance.
Insurance. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
So this is wonderful, because when you're marketing insurance, you have to know what people's fears are, you have to know what their pain points are, and you have to be able to share with them how you can help them. Correct?
Right, yes.
So you already know how to do this, Mike. I think your head's just getting in the way. And because because you're a pastor, I can speak to you a little differently. And I can say to you, let God use you as an instrument. Get down on your knees, pray, and ask how you want to be used as a channel here.
Yes, that's great.
And the product could be an ebook, it could be coaching, it could be an online product, not in terms of something that comes in a bottle, because any product is a huge investment. Right. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot either in the brick and mortar, the production or whatever. But if you are the product, there's not a lot of overhead. However, there's more responsibility because you have to walk the talk in even more of a deeper way.
Yes. Right. I got to lead the way, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And there are so many people out there looking for guidance, looking for motivation, looking for inspiration. And so I would do some meditating and some reflecting on, your life experience resume. People write their job resume. And what I advise people do is, okay, so you have your job resume and that's great, but write your life experience resume. Like, what has being a father taught you? What difficulties have you gone through in your life? What have you learned from those? What life experience and wisdom have you gotten from your job? Beyond just the bullet points, these were my responsibilities, but really what have you learned that's valuable information for other people? And really looking at what your unique gifts are, Mike, and how you can share those with the world. And who knows, down the road, an idea or a product may come, but I think, you keep saying, I want this idea and it's not hitting me. Well, I think it's because, really, it's looking you in the mirror.
Right. Okay.
Is this resonating with you?
It is, absolutely, very much so, on a very deep level, and it kind of makes sense because there has been that just that cycle of frustration, and it's sort of like a repetitious, vicious dog chasing his tail kind of thing, that even though I recognize it, I'm still willing to chase the tail again. Mm-hmm. And it hasn't borne the kind of fruit that I've been looking for.
Right. Right. So what do you think is the major change you need to make?
Well, I think the maybe getting in touch with the the deeper sense of purpose that I feel, and letting it come from that inspiration drive the next step, and not necessarily looking for some external direction from the latest, web page or CD or, an outside voice telling me this is the next big thing, but maybe getting to the heart of what drives me in the first place.
Exactly. And that's what we're all here to learn, is that the fulfillment, the answers, all that stuff is never out there. It's that shifting from an outside in approach to life to more of an inside out. And also just being so grateful for the job that you do have and everything you've learned there. And being able to go and do that and take those skills and transfer them into another area. So there's a lot more I could say in terms of starting a business and, when you're the product and everything like that. But I don't want you to go into too much goal line thinking right now. I really just support you in reflecting on what we talked about and really doing that life resume and starting to ask yourself questions like, who would I serve? Like, who are the people that I have a resonance with?
Mm-hmm. From my life experience.
And then ask yourself, what could I teach them? What could I share? And then from your life experience and your training. And then the last question would be, how would I deliver it to them? That's more of a form question. Is it through writing? Is it through speaking? Is it through, So it's the who, the what, and the how. So we're going from, broad to more specific. The thing is, people want to get the first specific thing without going to the big vision first. So start with the big vision and work backwards. And don't underestimate the value of yourself as the product. And when I say that, it's not an ego thing. It's more about being what I call a light worker and sharing the wisdom we have. And like you said, you have a gift for motivating people. Use it.
Let your light shine, huh? Yeah.
Don't hide behind the product.
I feel enlightened. Just makes total sense. I've taken great notes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I need to hear.
Exactly. How do you feel?
Oh, thank you. I'm grateful.
I love that call with Mike, especially his accent. Reminds me of my Texas days. Maybe I'll talk with my Texas accent for the rest of this podcast. No, I won't. I'm just kidding. So, all right, let's break this session down. So, first of all, he calls his challenge complex, but it really isn't. So many of the challenges that we think are so complex and so hard and so multi-layered really can be quite simple. Sometimes the answers are right in front of us, literally. And I pose the same question to you that I gave to Mike. What advice would you give to someone else in your situation? As I said in the beginning of this episode, a lot of times we have all the answers inside and we just need to take time to question ourselves and answer. What you can do is set up 2 chairs. And in one chair, you're the coach or the counselor or the psychic, whatever it may be. And the other chair, you're you. And literally ask a question as you and then move to the wisdom chair, be it the coach, counselor, psychic, whoever it is, and respond. And see what amazing advice you have for yourself inside. And sometimes we already know how to do something, but fear and limiting beliefs get in the way. So we create stalling tactics. Mike's was to continue researching. What's the next product, or what's the next online course, or what's the next workshop, or whatever. He kept looking and looking and looking for things, and what he was doing was stalling, but telling himself that it was research and it was helping him move forward. So I'm going to call you out here. Are you stalling and calling it research? Are you stalling and calling it more development? Maybe you don't need another online workshop or course or seminar. maybe it's time just to start. And often one of the big fears that stops us from starting is that fear of walking the talk. I highlighted with Mike that being our own product and really shining our light and being out there comes with a lot of responsibility. And taking that responsibility doesn't mean you have to be perfect. And I think that's what stalls a lot of people from really stepping into sharing their gifts or serving people in a greater way. They think they have to be totally perfect or evolved. No, you don't. I'm not. I'm still learning and growing. What we have to be as light workers is honest, vulnerable, and committed. Not perfect, not evolved. There is no there. So just be you. And it's time to share your gifts. No more stalling. So some action steps for you. One that I really love is doing your life experience resume. A lot of times the question that comes up when we're stepping into our gifts is, who am I to XYZ? Well, who are you not to? You know, less or more worthy or deserving than anyone else. And if you're just looking at sort of your skill set experience, you may be missing all the life experience you have. It's things like going through divorces, job loss, illness, all those kinds of things that give you so much wisdom. And yes, degrees and courses and all those things are part of it as well, but don't forget about your life experience. So take some time and write out that resume. Don't just think it out, really write it out. And reorient to a more internal direction, especially for all you junkies of workshops and seminars and courses and books and everything like that. Listen to your own inner wisdom. Yes, all those things are valuable. They are, and they have a purpose. But sometimes when we're listening too much to the voice of others, we turn down the volume of our own inner wisdom. So how about this? For 30 days, or a minimum of 2 weeks, stop reading and researching anyone else. Just listen to your own inner voice. And I'll bet you'll be amazed and so grateful at all the amazing insight and content that comes forward. And then finally, as a takeaway, I encourage you to answer the 3 questions, again, write them out, that I gave Mike in terms of really next steps in building your business or really just stepping into your purpose. This doesn't have to be a career. These questions apply to any job or any role that you play in your life. Because we all want a bigger sense of why. We all want a bigger sense of vision. And these 3 questions will help you do just that. So the first question is, who am I here to serve? The second question, what can I offer? The third question, how would I deliver it? So who am I here to serve? What can I offer? And how would I deliver it? It's time to shine your light. As Mike said, it's time to be a light worker. And a light worker is anyone who's willing to get out and help raise the consciousness of the planet just by bringing more love, more compassion, and more wisdom into the world. And if I can help you do that, I'd love to. That's my intention in this podcast. I also have a program called Secret Sauce, which is a 6-month business and mastermind training program where I teach you how to build your life purpose and business the way I did, by really stepping into your authentic secret sauce, by really being who you are rather than following someone else's model. So if you're interested in that or would like to apply, you can email jill@christinehassler.com, and all the information is up on my website as well. It's a small program, only 12 to 15 people. So if this is resonating with you, I encourage you to take action. No more stalling. So once again, shine your light. You have a unique purpose here. Remember, our purpose doesn't have to be in the form of a career necessarily. You have a purpose as a mother or a father or a brother or a boss, whatever it is, you're here for a reason. Thank you for listening to Over It and On With It. I love hearing from you, so please post your comments or questions at christinehassler.com/podcast. That's also the place you can sign up to receive coaching from me in an upcoming episode. And if you love this show, please share it and subscribe in iTunes. You can find all my social media handles and sign up to be part of my community at christinehassler.com. Until next week, here's to getting over it and on with it. Much love and many blessings.